Okay, good Sunday afternoon to you, blessed individuals out there, blessed ones as I see you. I want to show my gratitude and appreciation for all of those who took their time, energy to listen to the videos that I made about a couple weeks ago, where the whole conversation was around "You are the keys." And what I did was I divvied up a couple of video chapters, as I call them. I did about 6 videos, and where I spoke about how a simple guide to how to manifest your desires and wishes. So, for all of those who watched that video, appreciate you. And knowing what I'm trying to do now, or rather, let's take this word trying out. But my whole purpose for today's video is to talk about a couple of things that was brought up to me by my inner circle on things that they struggled with, and even some of the things that I struggled with when I was doing my manifestations, and what I needed to work on to actually make that work, right? Because a lot of the times, depending on who you're watching on YouTube, TikTok, or whatever medium of channel that you're using for manifestation, the message can be as clear as water, and then some of them could be as muddy as a muddy water, right? And ultimately, my goal here, my purpose is to help the individuals who are listening to this message and help them along their journey, right? So here's my thing, and like I mentioned in my other videos, I do this simply because my spirit speaks to me. I'm a believer in God, universe, source. I also believe that we're powerful spiritual beings, which is our higher selves. And I believe in the power of the subconscious mind, but also looping in your logical mind in this as well, too, because it is a full team effort of what what I said in my other videos, a team of me, myself, and I. Okay, so for all of you who watched the video, you would understand that. Okay, so let's get into this. There's three particular categories I want to talk to. I want to talk about faith, I want to talk about belief, and then I want to talk about hope. Now, when I look at faith, belief, and hope, I see it in this way. When you're looking to manifest anything, your desires, your wishes, you have to work on the hope, the belief, which creates your faith, right? Now, this is things that have worked for me and that has worked for other people within my inner circle that I've guided them on, and even, my family, right? And my kids, because I am a father of 3 beautiful children. I will say to you that when it comes to hope, if you look at its very definition, it's a feeling of trust, expecting things to happen, desiring things to happen. It's an energy of desire, wishes, asks, expectations, wants, and needs, right? That's when you look at hope. Now, any one of you can, go into further definition of what you feel hope is, but at the end of the day, let's be clear, your mindset is what determines that particular definition. So if hope means something different to you, then you yourself have to take your time and have a self-reflection and decide to see how that's helping you in your manifestation. But as far as I see it, hope to me is a feeling of trust, expecting things to happen, desiring things to happen. It's an energy of desire, wishes, acts, expectations, wants, and needs. We jump in right into belief. When you look at that definition, it's acceptance that it is true or something exists, right? And that can come into an effect of your belief in God, universe, source, or whomever is the God you pray to or you believe in. My job here and my purpose is not to question what your religious beliefs are, but rather help you alongside on how that can assist you, because it's already built in with your belief, right? So belief to me is also a strong conviction. It's an energy of building mindset, paradigm, perspective. It's an attachment energy. It's like the sticky energy glue of faith and hope. It holds all of this together. Then when I think about faith, right? Look at its definition. It's complete trust and confidence. I mean, that's complete trust and confidence. But to me, it's also faith is a powerful electrical signal that emits a signal to your subconscious mind, right? That's how I see it when you have faith. So it's a powerful signal that emits a signal. It's a key to unlock the desires, wishes, and acts that you want. To me, faith is also requires your concentration, your focus, repetitive focus on knowing it will happen. And also faith requires energy of positivity. Now, as always, you have the power to take what I just said and review it. And then, I encourage you to not only look at what the definitions for these things are, but what is it defined in your life, in your day-to-day. And if you remember in my other videos, my goal and purpose is to make you self-thinkers. I said it's a beautiful journey to learn these things, but also have the efficiency and effectiveness of doing your research, finding out more about it, because again, it's going to impact your hope, your belief, your faith. And you will see that. So I'm here to aid you with this and walk you through some of this, through some of my testimonials and some of the testimonials that I've seen from the inner circle of people who I've helped. Now, with that being said, these three items are one that definitely needs time and attention. And because as you know, where you focus your attention, your energy goes to, right? So how does that help with your manifestation, right? How does that work with the hope, the belief and faith? Well, here's a couple of things. Remember that whatever thoughts or desires or wishes, right? Your logical mind screens which thought you choose to focus on, then sends a signal that creates an emotion and a visual. Let me repeat that again, okay? Because you're asking, well, how does hope, belief, and faith, what does that have to do with the subconscious mind and creating, your reality? Well, your logical mind, okay, screens, literally screens which thought you choose to focus on, then sends a signal that creates an emotion and a visual to your subconscious mind. So let's stop there for a minute. A lot of videos that you watch on YouTube or TikTok or whatever channel you're using will concentrate the majority of the time in understanding the power of the subconscious mind, how to reprogram your subconscious mind. But a lot of them tend to forget, or I don't know if sometimes it's intentional of them not to talk about your logical mind, and that it's part of the process, because your left hemisphere is the logical. It helps you navigate this waking world, this reality world, right? And then sends a signal to the right hemisphere to create that reality, right? So it's a receiver. It is literally a receiver. Now, you may say to yourself, okay, well, how do I change that? Well, you have the power to change that by now being aware. Aware is you understanding it's happening. You're understanding that the thoughts are coming to you, and you decide what thoughts you choose to focus on and concentrate on. But you got to be aware of it in the positive and in the negative. We talked about polarity in my other videos. There are thoughts that will come to you because either you're experiencing something, you've been exposed to something, or something is triggering certain emotions, and you're choosing to focus on that, which is telling your logical mind that this is a priority because you're triggering it through emotional trigger. It's an emotional intensity. You're going through feelings, sensations that you're causing, whether unwillingly or subconsciously or consciously, you're doing it. And then when you do that, your logical mind is sending that signal, that coding to your subconscious mind. And then your subconscious mind is unlimited. So it will search the whole universe, the earth, the collective conscious, to now bring to light that of which you're concentrating with such high frequency, vibration, and energy. So at that point in time, it is now going to start creating certain things to validate that of which you're feeling and thinking and emitting that energy. Perfect example is like if you're taking a test, for example. Let's say test taking is not your best thing, right? You don't like taking tests, you're not a test taker. But, if it comes about talking to the subject, helping others, you are phenomenal in it. But when it comes to testing, it's something that you're not comfortable with. So therefore, you start sending the signal of insecurity, unsureness, doubt, which will then send that energy, that emotional trigger, that electrical signal to your subconscious mind. And then what your subconscious mind is going to do is going to be like, well, have we experienced this before? Do I have that in my archive? And then it's going to go way back to whenever you had that episode or that experience what impacted you in a negative way. And it's going to be like, here it is. This is what we're going to use. This is what he or she or however you identify wants. And then it's going to spit it right out to you because remember, there is an electrical emotional charge that you've given it, whether it was intentional or intentional, it's receiving it that way. Remember that your brain is inside of your skull. It's not seeing outside. And yes, your eyes are connected to your brain and you perceives the light as information and so on and so forth, but it really guides itself on the emotion that you're providing it. So at that point in time when this is happening, and this is happening at very, it's manifesting quickly, and then it's giving you signs of those things. Then all of a sudden, for no reason, you may be eating a sandwich or you're on your lunch break or whatever it is, or you're doing something, and then that feeling of insecurity creeps in, and you're like, well, whoa, what the hell is this? Why am I feeling this? And the test may be like a week away, but then you're feeling and it comes in waves and you're like, what is happening? Well, that is your subconscious mind throwing signals out there to see how you're reacting, and how you choose to react is going to confirm to the subconscious mind the reality of it. So if you turn around and say, man, I'm feeling unsure about the test, the subconscious mind is going to be like, well, that's the energy. It's a electrical trigger is just sent back to me to let me know that's what they want. So I'm going to deliver that. And then here you are stressing and putting the energy on you not taking the test right. Then when the test occurs, your mind locks. And then all of a sudden, boom, you failed the test. You manifested that reality. And then you're saying to yourself, damn, I studied, I did everything I had to do, but you're unaware of what you did intentionally. Intentionally. This is why it's so important to understand how your mind works. That's why I'm a big advocate in when you're listening to these videos, do your research. If something doesn't feel right or it doesn't resonate with you, it maybe the energy, frequency, vibration of that message is not hitting with you. It's not aligning with you, rather. And it's okay. You can go ahead and check other mediums of channels that is going to help you with this. Because the important thing is that you're in alignment with all of your desires, wishes, and asks that you're asking for in your manifestation. So let's talk about a little bit about the right hemisphere, right? That's where your God force is. That's where creativity lives. Literally, things get pulled out from that side and transmitted into or transmuted into this physical world that we live in. All through these signals and whatever your subconscious mind is receiving the signals from your logical mind, it decodes it, deciphers it, and delivers results. That's how powerful this thing is. And a lot of you may say, well, man, that explains why when I'm thinking of something I don't want, it happens. Yeah, because you're sending the electrical charge, that emotional charge, to your subconscious mind. So how do you change that, right? How do you create the true reality that you want? Well, we just spoke about how your thoughts create the reality, right? Being aware of when you're feeling these emotions or when you're desiring something, whatever it is that you're hoping for, that you're believing in, that you have your faith in, you have to make sure that that's in the positive. You have to constantly be aware that it's happening and not react with that emotional charge, but rather say, hey, I realize, for example, let's take that testing example, right? I realized that a thought came to me. You're giving me a thought that says that I haven't done well in tests, but the reality is I've done very well in tests. Matter of fact, here are some of the times that I've done phenomenal in testing. As a matter of fact, I'm a great tester. I have proof. Let me pull up some memories and provide that for you. Now, at that point in time, what you're doing, you're not providing the logical mind, which is providing the information to your subconscious mind that, wait a second, we do have a lot of proof that we've done tests very well. Because your subconscious mind, how does it communicate with you? It's a visual. It shows you pictures. It doesn't talk to you. When you hear that voice, that's your higher self. And your higher self is very calm, soothing. It's like a voice who talks to a child. It knows how to talk to you and provide you that serenity, that peace, that tranquility. Whereas with your ego mind, your lower mind, it's very pressuring, it's very demanding. And that's how you know which which one is speaking to you, right? Because when you look at it, they just want to, both your logical mind and your subconscious mind, they want to make you happy. They want to bring to you what you're desiring. So, understanding that piece of it is major, major. Now, take the time to really think about what I just shared with you, because some of it may sound very simple and it'll go over your head, but the reality is it's a lot more dynamic and complex. I'm just taking very complicated information and making it as simple as possible so you have the aha moment and you can move forward in your journey. So whatever may have stagnated your manifestations, your desires, your wishes, or your asks, you know now why. So that's the key to these things. So that's how your thought creates your realities, right? And now you know if certain things have been causing certain manifestations not to come, or maybe it wasn't exactly what you wanted. Here's the reason why. I'm going to give you another example of a close friend of mine who was manifesting a specific person, right? SP. That's you see that a lot nowadays. That's the SP, specific person. I remember this friend of mine describing this person as far as aesthetically, aesthetically what they looked physically, and concentrating much on that, but not really focusing on what they really desired and really wanted from that individual. And that's why I said, I say, and I said it in my other videos, when you're manifesting, you have to know the why. You have to have that moment of retrospective, reflective moment, understanding why you're asking for this. It's gonna come in fruition for you, but you gotta know and understand the why. You gotta understand the why. So at the end of the day, you have to understand that. Because if you don't understand that, you're going to create unintentionally, and for some intentionally, dissonance. That's when there's a confusion, there's a misunderstanding of what you're feeding the thought to your logical mind, which is then giving something to your subconscious mind, and then you're sending other signals that is conflicting, because when your subconscious mind is spitting out somebody who is remotely close to what you were asking for, but then it doesn't have everything that you want, then at that point in time, you feel upset. That's why a lot of, I remember this particular person they were bringing people into their lives that, okay, physically matched what they wanted, but when it came to um, inside, right, what they really needed from that person, love, the partnership, friendship, compassion, empathy, somebody supportive, somebody who's a motivator, all these great things that go on, they didn't, they weren't very specific on that. So I had to go back to the drawing board and work on their desire, ask, or wish, and then started scripting on what they truly did want, both on the physical and internally from the person, what they wanted that they would provide to the relationship. And with that scripting, they also recorded it and then they played it. And again, I went into detail about that in the other videos I created, but I will say this. Remember that your voice is a powerful energy, frequency, vibration. Your logical mind and your subconscious mind stands to attention when you say things. It is powerful. And there's a lot of historical texts, biblical texts that show how powerful your voice is and your words. So, be mindful. Be mindful and be intentional when you're doing these recordings and you're hearing yourself on which is a form of self-hypnosis and reprogramming your mind in what you are saying. Okay? So that was my piece there that I really wanted to kind of just, touch on to bring some light into that. And again, I like to do these formats where it's sort of like, I feel like you're here in my backyard, we're having a conversation in front of the pool, and, these magical, beautiful tropical birds that keep coming over here. But that's the way of the universe showing synchronicities on things. But again, understanding the thoughts that you choose to focus on, understanding that they emit an electrical charge to your subconscious mind, and then how your subconscious mind looks for validation, and then it spits out what you're asking for. The other thing I do want to talk to you about is time. Here's the thing, because that's one of the things I struggled with when I was manifesting at the beginning. I would get very frustrated because I would give myself a time, because we're taught in this waking world, by the time we go into school, that time is everything. They give you a regiment, they give you a lesson plan, they give you order to things. Or even when you're working, it's the same thing, right? Or even in your own household, there's like a routine, because we're creatures of habit, and therefore we tend to put time as a priority when reality it should just be a coordinate for you. And that was very difficult for me to understand. It was a challenge for me until I understood what time really was. And again, I encourage you to understand what time means in our universe and what it means on our earth. I'm very intentional in why I'm saying what I say in these videos, because I want you to be self-thinkers, self-efficient. It's extremely valuable to be that way, because you're creating your reality. Remember how we talked about hope? Things you're desiring for, expecting, and then we talked about belief. That's how you're creating these beliefs, believing that it's true, and then it creates your faith, which again brings all of this together, because your faith is that engine that keeps things going and keeps you focused, right? So in bringing things forward, there's a saying that Jesus talked about, where he said, your faith can move mountains. And, it's interesting, because I've never been one to, I'm not a Bible guy as far as going to church and stuff like that. But it's interesting how these words have come to me one way or another, right? And it's impacted me, although I am not an expert in biblical texts or any other religious texts. But it's interesting how certain things, I've heard it either in my inner circle or at people I worked with, whether it's in businesses that I have aside, or some of the work that I do, or even my kids. It's interesting how the word comes to you, right? But it resonates with you in particular. So it's uninterrupted, it's unfiltered, and and it has an energy, frequency, vibration that makes sense to you. So when I think of that, right, your faith can move mountains, because that's how this whole conversation started: hope, belief, and faith. To me, that mountains encompasses a couple things, right? To me, I see the mountains as your left side of your hemisphere, your logical mind, and your right side of your hemisphere, which is your subconscious mind. And the day you know how to make them work together in unison, you are moving the mountains to create your reality. Okay? You're creating your reality at that point in time, because you understand how to use both of them and get the desired results that you're looking for. So to me, that's always been something very deep that that I've always it's always resonated with me. It has always, always, always resonated, and I thank God, because I am a believer in God. There's something that, to me, is the source of everything that's powering us, and I've had my own experiences with many things, on many phases in my life, and sometimes on a daily basis, that lets me know that entity I know as God is there, source, universe, and also understanding my higher self, which is spirit, which is connected to God, and then understanding the power of my subconscious mind, and also how my logical mind works. So it's all encompassing for me, and that's why I'm a big believer in finding your journey, this beautiful journey that you're walking through, to learn a little bit more. So yeah, so that was my piece there, in regards to moving mountains and what that really means to me. I do want to share something that I recently manifested, right? And I wanted to share this because, again, it's such a spiritual experience, right? So I went ahead and I talked about how your logical mind receives the thought that you chose, and then from there it will send the signal over to your subconscious mind, and then your subconscious mind looks for validation, and therefore it it then delivers the results, that reality, right? So just an example, I was looking to manifest, right, a certain amount of money, okay, because there were some things for my wife's business that I wanted to help her get, because it's important. Her businesses deal with helping our little young ones, right, children, and it was important for me because I saw how important it was for her. So I remember asking for this amount, right, and speaking to God, universe, source, my higher self, my subconscious mind, my logical mind, having this conversation, coming out here in my backyard and just looking up at the sky. And I did this even before I had a house. I used to do this in my apartment, okay? Because like I mentioned in my other videos, I come from very humble beginnings. So I know what it feels like to be in those apartments in different areas, and now living where I'm fortunate to live through the power of manifestation.